So DC Comics is set to publish their 850th issue of the Superman title of comics. But are they going to do anything with that? Let's talk about that today here in the Geek Corner. Hey there everybody, it's RevCav. Welcome back to the channel. So appreciate you being here and geeking out with me. So as a lifelong Superman fan and Superman collector since the 80s, I thought this article that was put out by Rich Johnston over on the Bounding Into Comics website about the 850th issue of Superman that's going to be published by DC Comics in October of this year, 2023. Now, what's interesting is how Rich put his article together, and I will have a link to this article in the description of this video, is he's put together all the history of the Superman title and saw how the issue that's going to be released in October is the 850th. But that's not really where the numbering is right now. So let me kind of explain, as he explained it in the article, how this has gone down. And the question that I'm asking is DC going to do anything with this? I really hope they do, because this 850, that's a big number. Right, so Superman Volume 1 was first published in 1939. And that there are 423 issues in Superman Volume 1. Superman Volume 2 is actually when I started to collect Superman. That was when John Byrne rebooted Superman after the Crisis of Infinite Earth, where all the multiverse of DC was just kind of collapsed into a one Earth, one storyline, and they used that to kind of reboot the DC universe. And to this day, John Byrne is my absolute favorite comic book writer and comic book artist. His stuff is fantastic. And so much of what he created in the Superman mythology in 1986 still continues to this day, 40 years later. So it's really, he wrote some amazing stuff there. And so Superman Volume 2 had 291 issues. Now, what they did with that is they started over with issue number 1, but then when it got to issue 226, because there was like 423 plus 226, that got them to 649 issues, and so they returned to the legacy numbering at that issue, and they continued from 650. So that's why there's this huge gap. And it took me a while to figure this out as a collector, because I'm going back and trying to find a bunch of my issues, and I'm trying to find where's like all these issues that I'm missing, right, in the numbering. Well, it's because that's what happened. They went back to the legacy numbering and just kind of continued that way. And then we got into Superman Volume 3, which was the New 52. And so there were 52 issues that came out from the New 52. And then we got the DC Universe Rebirth, where they kind of realized, yeah, we kind of jumped the shark a little bit here with this New 52. It didn't really sell and didn't do as well as we were hoping. So we're going to do a whole other kind of Infinite Earth reboot. And they did the Superman Rebirth. Now, Superman Rebirth was amazing. I literally just finished reading it a couple of weeks ago. Loved it. The Superman and the Action Comics of the DC Universe, DC Rebirth, was amazing. If you've never read Superman Rebirth, read that run. There were 45 issues in Superman Volume 4. Check that out. And then we went to Superman Volume 5. I keep renumbering these things when they have a big launch. This is when Bendis took over. Brian Michael Bendis took over. Didn't like that run. Honestly, that's when I kind of stopped again during that run. Didn't like what they did with Jonathan Kent, Superman and Lois's son. Didn't like what they did with Superman's identity. The fact that they took Superman, made him he was a family man in Rebirth, and then kind of it didn't click. It didn't click with me. And that only ran for 32 issues. And now we're in Superman Volume 6, which is just another reboot. So now in Dawn of DC, we have a new Superman number 1. And issue number 7 is going to be published this October. So when you do all the math, 423 plus 291 plus 52 plus 45 plus 32 plus 7 brings you to the magical number of 850. So man, Rich Johnston, thanks for doing the math, because I would have totally missed this. I never would have seen this as the 850th issue of Superman. Now again, this is just in the Superman title. This doesn't include Action Comics, which is well over 1,000 now. I think it's 1,100 or something like that now that we're at, or close to it. This doesn't include all the one-offs and all the mini-series like Superman Lost or Superman Doomsday, or the standalones like Superman Earth Stealers and different things like that. So many great other little stories happening here. But this is 850 of just the Superman title. So I really hope they're going to do something cool with this. It'd be nice to get some really cool, nice big thick edition, something with a lot of cool art and some great, bringing back some of the legacy writers would be really great. A John Byrne kind of short story in there too would be amazing, but that's just me. So I'd love to know what you think about this idea of this 850th issue of Superman. Do you think DC is going to do anything with it? I haven't heard anything apart from this article, so I'd love to know your thoughts about it down in the comment section below. And if you're a Superman fan, why don't you also put in the comments your favorite storyline? Because again, I'm getting caught up on some stuff that I missed, and so I want to try to read it in the order that people are really loving the story. So put that down in the comments as well. So again, really appreciate all of you being a part of the community. It really means a lot to me. And until the next video, God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.